No, but you're right. Like ultimately, it's a cooperative, reciprocal relationship that both of the people have to come together. I mean, otherwise, how's it gonna work? I mean, thankfully, I've kind of knew this intuitively, and I think we know this intuitively, but then we get caught up in our own ideas and our entitlement of how things should be. This should be is the killer, right? Is like how, you don't get to impose how the world behaves and how someone else does. It's something that I think we grow up and we get conditioned because our parents tell us to do something and then we do it. And then we expect that if we do the same and we tell other people to do things, they will do them. But that's just not how it works, right? You can only do that kind of behavior to people that are very close to you, that you can trust, that have that bond with you, for you to be able to say something, and even though it doesn't sound proper, they understand, right? And in a couple's relationship, like even in our relationship, this comes up. Like, for example, this is really relevant to the two of us. We are trying to do business together, so we have a lot of times where we are serving other people, not ourselves. We have to do work for sure, but we have to serve somebody else, or we are looking for an outcome for our business. Like, hey, we have to do these 15 things before we can launch this one, service or product, and then we have to do all the marketing around this. And all these things that we do, I think what happens is when we're working, right? When you're in that working mode, your temperament is different than when you're in a loving, I want to spend time with my wife mode. So the reason I'm bringing it up is because the two of us are doing business together as well as being couples, married together. So sometimes it gets lost in translation, or we don't see that line, that fine line between being a married couple that loves each other and wants nothing but that for each other, like to make each other feel happy and give each other our attention and time, versus like when we are trying to also be productive and getting things done, we can somehow, when those things are so close to each other, there's a bleed over, right? Like they cross over into each other's departments. So I want to talk a little bit about this. If you have any suggestions or recommendations on how we can kind of move around this in our life.
I see a parallel between your organization and a family. Both are same. See, here I would see one thing is whenever your stressful behavior is always different. When I am in stress, automatically my behavior is different.
That's right.
When
yes.
I am normal mode, it's entirely different. So you cannot say stressful mode is a permanent mode. Now here is the question of competencies. I will draw an analogy between a house and this one. The recruiting. See, you are recruiting an employee with a particular skill in the organization. So skill is for that particular job. If your skill is not there, the problems will be there. Similarly, here I would say in the house, the pre-marriage counseling. Okay? In pre-marriage counseling, the method I showed earlier, there was a pre-marriage counseling method. There was a checklist of questions. The future, what religion you are going to follow, what you will do if you get $1 million, what you will do. These are all based on certain imaginary situation. That is where most of the pre-marriage questionnaires are a failure. In this method, which we do, that NLP and Enneagram is a psychometric tool, where the whole behavior can be Enneagram. There's nine types of behavior.
That we've done that.
He's number 8.
I'm number 8.
And I'm number 1.
No, Enneagram. So I'll be very careful. I am number 4 and 5. So what actually we do is I do the Enneagram behavior, and VAK into 9, that is 27 micro behaviors. Okay, 27 micro behaviors. Then what I do is, this is a pre-marriage set. What I do is, suppose she has come for me and you are about to get engaged. What I do is I ask her to experience the 9 behaviors in her family. Are you getting the point? She has to identify, she's the one, she has to identify all the 8 in her family, in a friend circle. You have to identify, so that what happens, within the 9, you're going to experience them. So you are having a future taste of all your family members. So once she is comfortable with your father's style, maybe your father's style is 7. She is already comfortable with 7. So there we say where we move together, where we do. Enneagram is a very powerful tool. That is where the most of the organizations are also doing based on that. And I also do Enneagram for pre-marriage counseling. That is where my results are powerful when compared to on the simple battery of questions, 30, 40 questions. So there are certain signs. Psychology is no more the traditional psychology which you are thinking. Now it has become a mathematical psychology. So the same way, if what is the skills required for your company, if that is given by both of you, then it's okay. If there is a shortage of skill, there will be a misunderstanding. You have to look from that angle. You're doing a service. These are things requirement. These two things I can do. These things I cannot do. Either at the time I have to stretch, I have to get outsource it or get it somewhere else. But if you think I want to do everything, then it becomes a problem.
Yeah, so I think what Dr. Sundaram is saying is figuring out the pain points and stress areas that bringing stress, that making relationship hard, and then see who has a skill in it to take that, so then the other person is not stressed. But if both of us don't have it, then you just outsource whatever that stressful part of work, so then you don't stress out, so then the relationship doesn't become hard.
Even if you stress out, you cannot give 10 by 10 at that level. Every time stress will get accumulated.
Right.
You will go home with stress. You know pretty well you're always hitting on the wall. I know what is going to happen, but still keep on hitting the wall.
Yeah.
So that's like that.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, you thinking?
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, I don't know
समझ
what
तो
to
गए
say.
ना
Huh?
समझ तो गए ना आप
हाँ जी, समझ तो गए हम. I understood, but I don't know what to say.
He's just thinking.
I'm
through
thinking
it.
still.
He's like, oh,
yeah think
still
about
processing.
it. And
Still processing.
your boss is there, sit together and discuss. We diary lagao, we meet diary lagao.